Assalamu alaikum, namaste, hotep, shalom alaikum, peace. This is Tracy Lene Muhammad, and I'm just going to take a few minutes of your Sunday morning valuable time to perhaps help you understand when it's time to walk away from people or situations that aren't serving you. When it comes to people, each of us has a responsibility to take care of our own souls. It's not anybody else's job to love you. It is your job to love you. When you decide that it's your job to love you, you will meticulously scan everything that comes into your life before you let it in your heart or in your head. You will scan it, yes, you will be very meticulous about it, and not in a angry or bitter way, but in a way that you're making sure that before you allow this in your space, it serves you. Now, oftentimes, by the time we recognize that we don't have a lot of self-love, it's because of the situations that keep repeating themselves in our lives that led us to know, I need to look at some things differently. When you have people in your life that are in your life, for years and years and years, but the relationship really has deteriorated. You really don't feel connected to them, whether it's a parent or a spouse or a sibling or a friend. You feel like there's just been some differences, that intuitive feeling that lets you know it's time to move on. Oftentimes we ignore it because out of fear, we don't know how, like the uncertain things in life. Like if you've been best friends for 20 years and now it doesn't feel like this is still fitting, you feel guilty. If you've been married, you're like, oh, I can't leave my spouse in marriages until death do us part. Perhaps the death is the death of the marriage, the death of the commitment. If you're in any relationship with anybody and 10 meetings with them, out of those 10, they are bashing you or pointing out things that they feel you should do differently, 8 of the times, that's a relationship that's already dead. And what's happening is it's beginning to rot. And they then only bring into your life the things that they think you need to change. They're not very positive. They're not very supportive. They're not available. You have to love yourself enough to know that it's okay to have compassion for them, and it's okay to have unconditional love for them. But you have to move on. Only you know when that is. There are some tools that can help you move on. The emotional freedom technique, the EFT tapping, Google it. EFT, emotional freedom technique. You can go on YouTube and see how it's done. You can meditate, and that's also on YouTube, or you can contact me and I can help you with some yin yoga and meditation to get past some blocks that you might have. You may decide that you want a traditional therapist, or that going to church or the mosque or the synagogue, it works for you. Whatever it is, do the work. Life simply isn't long enough to continue to stay in the same relationship with people who just don't see your value. But the reason why they don't see your value is because you're not projecting your value. You're not standing up for yourself. You're not saying, no, I'm not going to allow that in my life. Oftentimes in relationships, people show up in ways and they betray our trust, and we allow them to stay in our lives. So they recognize that they can betray your trust. They can continue to be raggedy, and you accept that. Instead of you saying, listen, I know we all do things that aren't the best, but I will not accept this behavior in my life. So you either change it or you go. And then if they don't go, you leave. If they don't change it, you leave. I was being funny, but seriously, we keep drawing the line in the sand with people, and then they just keep pushing it back until eventually we are the ones that have drowned in the ocean, because the line of the sand has been going back until we're all the way in the ocean, drowning, because we haven't just recognized that people do what they want to do and has nothing to do with you. The 4 agreements will help you to access the great power in you and recognize it's never about you. The first one is to be impeccable with your word. It doesn't matter how somebody takes your word, as long as you're delivering it with kindness and with truth. How they receive it, that's not your job. Your job is just to be honest and truthful. The second one is to not take anything anybody does personally. That was a difficult one for me, but I'm at that space now. I recognize that no matter what anybody else is doing, it's not about me. They're not trying to hurt me. They're hurting themselves. In truth, if we start to really look at when people betray us or whatever the thing that they do that hurts us, if we stop thinking it's about us and give it back to them, it won't hurt us. The third one is to not make any assumptions. If you have questions, ask. If you know that the person is prone to lie about everything, why are you asking? Just let them do what they're going to do and you move on. If you know that as soon as you ask, they're going to tell a lie because they have the history of being a liar, stop asking a liar questions and expecting the truth. Don't make any assumptions. Just know that's who they are and keep it moving. The fourth one is to do your best at everything. When you show up every single day, show up your highest and best self. If you're in a space that day where your highest and best self isn't available, that's okay too. You can be honest and just say, I'm going to need some time because I'm just not in the greatest space for me. Or you can kind of move yourself away from everybody and meditate and get it together. That's what you can do. Life is so available. And guess what? You can multitask. You can be more than one thing. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you got to focus in on one thing. That's what they have to do. And that's okay for them. The new Tracy doesn't even respond to anybody. Whatever they feel, they have a right to feel it. I don't have to insert what I feel or believe. I can just believe it and feel it and just smile. Or like one of my favorite movies, Madagascar. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. That's what I do. Just smile and wave. Let them be right. I am in the space where everybody gets to be right because it's their life and they're right, and the same for me. I just wanted to share those few thoughts with you before I go teach a yoga class. I'm so excited and so grateful for my path. If you're interested in yin yoga meditation, contact me. If you're interested in some of the essential oil sprays that calm the fuck down or the champagne life spray, great stocking stuffers, contact me. If you want some clothing done, contact me. Yeah, I'm that girl. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, hotep, shalom alaikum. Peace out to Brooklyn and everywhere else.